Welcome to the Eye Test, a fantasy football podcast for those who are tired of hearing boring stats all day. This is episode 20, and this is our Get That Corn Out of My Face segment. So for those who don't know, this is basically the opposite of What's in the Flex. What's in the Flex is players that have ascended into your starting lineup. Get That Corn Out of My Face is players that are leaving your starting lineup and just going to that fucking bench.
Or just getting off your fucking team. They don't even belong on your bench.
Exactly. So I'm going to kick it off here. Kareem Hunt, this guy was a solid flex play for a couple years since he's been on the Browns, splitting the work for the most part with Nick Chubb. But this year, it seems like Nick Chubb has just completely taken over the backfield. Not really sure what's changed with the Browns, really, for them to make that change. But Kareem Hunt hasn't put up over his best game in the recent weeks was 11 on Halloween. So that goes all the way back to week 8. And he hasn't had over 15 all year besides for week 1 when he had a touchdown and had his best game of the year. I think he had 2 touchdowns, actually. So I'm officially declaring Kareem Hunt bench-worthy and borderline droppable. But borderline droppable. The only reason I won't go so far to say he's a definite drop is because on the off chance that Nick Chubb gets hurt, you want to have that handcuff, probably one of the best handcuffs in the league, besides for the Madison Tingle, of course.
I love that Madison Tingle. I've been holding on to him all year in my one league.
Yep, and Alvin Cook will probably stay healthy all year, but just on the chance that he does, you want that little tingle. But yeah, Kareem Hunt's just been really bad all year. It's probably mainly due to his usage. I'm sure once he gets to a new team next year, because I don't expect the Browns to re-sign him, he'll be the RB1 in, maybe on the Rams or something like that, and he'll be back to fantasy relevance. But this year just isn't it for him, and he is the get that corn out of my face player for me.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Kareem Hunt was not moved at the trade deadline. I thought for sure, because the Browns this year they're not making the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. Deshaun Watson comes back, they're not going to make the playoffs. But Kareem Hunt, I mean, he could have gone to a contender and they could have gotten some talent for him. What are you guys looking at me like that for?
Because I just don't think Deshaun Watson's going to – I don't think the Browns will make the playoffs either, but – I know you don't think Deshaun Watson's going to play well when he comes back.
Oh, no, dude. I will die on this hill. Until Deshaun Watson proves me wrong, you can't step away from the game for over 2 years, almost 3 years, and come back to a brand new team, to a brand new coach, to a brand new system, and expect to play well. I don't care if you're Jesus Christ himself. That's really hard to do. And then with also Deshaun Watson's, like, his legal issues aren't gone. Like, they're still lingering over his head and so 57 girls, that's a lot. If it was like 1 or 2, I'd be like, they're lying. And then it was 20, then it was 30. And I'm like, okay.
Is it really 57 now?
It's like 54, 57
that's
the last
some
time.
Bill Cosby shit right there.
Oh my God. That's so bad.
You feel like that was the best way for him to get, like, you're Deshaun Watson, going to the club and just like girls will throw themselves at you.
I bet
I think it's a kink.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a fantasy, like fetish type thing, probably, because he, like you said, he probably can just walk into anywhere and get any girl that he wants, but it makes it more exciting. It's like playing a game almost,
Killer shit.
Yeah.
Wee woo. No, that's the horny police coming to Deshaun Watson's house.
It's so fucked up, but it probably is like, a fetish thing. So weird.
It is weird.
I have someone who has a fetish too for my get that corn out of my face.
Let's hear it.
Gotta say,
get that corn out of my face. Yeah, this guy has a fetish with constantly getting injured every single year. And his name is Elijah Mitchell, dude.
Oh.
It was just released probably an hour before we recorded this podcast that he's out for the rest of the season. 6 to 8 weeks is how they worded it, which is weird at this point of the year. I guess if they make the Super Bowl, he could play. But dude, he's like a solid flex player. Can we agree with that when he's healthy?
When he's probably a solid. When he's healthy, without Christian McCaffrey, he was a borderline like a borderline RB1.
Yeah, that's crazy because I was saying the same thing. I looked at his score sheet and I don't even think he broke double digits all year. But it's weird because like he has some good runs. Like he has big playability.
He's very efficient, is what he is.
Yeah, like 4 points, 9 points, 6 points, 6 points. But he averages 5 yards a carry, which is nice. But he just doesn't get that many attempts or score touchdowns. But anyway, he needs to just get dropped right now. He should not get drafted next year. I would trade away Elijah Mitchell for like an Uncrustables sandwich, maybe like frozen Uncrustables sandwich. But he just cannot stay healthy. The dude's made of glass, more glass than DeAndre Swift is. DeAndre Swift will always be my get that corn out of my face. But for this week, it's Elijah Mitchell. Get Elijah Mitchell out of my face.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on to Paul, you mentioned Uncrustables. Grape or strawberry?
Grape.
I'm
Really?
a grape guy.
Really?
Yeah.
The classic. It is the classic.
Do you like grape peanut butter and jellies, but strawberry Uncrustables?
I love grape. I grew up on like grape jelly and all that stuff, but as I've grown, as I've matured, I've I've realized that strawberry is just far superior.
Yeah, strawberries and chocolate is banging. So strawberries and peanut butter is probably better than grape and peanut butter. Honestly, I'm not sure I've tried a strawberry Uncrustable.
It's not even just Uncrustable. Strawberry jelly, anything strawberry with peanut butter it's amazing.
Okay.
I think it's like grape's the classic, like I said, but I personally think strawberry's better.
All right. Maybe I'll do like an Uncrustables review on our TikTok page.
Dude, yes. I love that.
You
You guys want to know how weird I am. You know what my favorite for peanut butter? I do, Bob, I will say I do like butter and strawberry jelly on my English muffins in the morning. That's my go-to.
I like that.
But have you ever had apple jelly? Have you ever had peanut butter and apple jelly?
No.
Dude, it's a game changer. It's like if you like apples, you'll love apple jelly. But that's what I grew up on, peanut butter and apple jelly, not grape jelly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, one more. Have you guys ever had cream cheese and grape jelly on a bagel?
That sounds amazing.
It's amazing. It's
Dude,
so
that sounds so good. Like a plain bagel? What are we talking?
Yeah.
Like cinnamon raisin even?
Yeah, you could do something like that. Any type of sweet bagel. But cream cheese and jelly, even strawberry jelly, any type of jelly with cream cheese on a warm bagel is so good.
Dude, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow because I know I'm going to go to my local bagel shop. And I'm going to get that. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, what's that? What would that be called? Bakery.
No, just a bagel shop.
Yeah, they specify in bagels though.
Just a bagel shop.
Okay. Sounds weird. Deli?
No.
Maybe. They have lunch. They do have lunch there.
Maybe.
Yes. But anyway, those are all ones.
Yeah, I would trade any of those for Elijah Mitchell right now.
Yeah. And that is no knock on Uncrustables because we love Uncrustables.
Yes, we do.
But
Paul, who's your get that corn out of my face?
Yeah. So what I really want to get in my face right now is a bagel with cream cheese and grape jelly. But what I'm throwing out of my face is one of my own guys in my personal team, not in fantasy. And it's Devin Duvernay. I am tired of this ride. I am tired of the disappointment. He hasn't scored over 6 points in a game, even with Rashad Bateman sidelined. So that's the last 4 or 5 games. He hasn't eclipsed 6 points. The eye test wise, Lamar is, we did have a lot of drops this week, but Lamar's also overthrowing wide open receivers downfield. And of course, nobody sees that unless you watch the games, but the red zone touchdown percentage is horrendous. Duvernay was scraping by in the beginning of the season on like 3 or 4 targets, but he was scoring a touchdown or 2 in those games. And so with just the complete lack of talent on the offensive side of the ball, not named Mark Andrews, I'm going to name 3 guys who are owned under 40% of leagues on the waiver wire. And you tell me if you would prefer them over Duvernay. Zay Jones.
Yes.
Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Nico Collins has had 8 or 9 targets a game.
Yeah, he gets like close to double digits each week, so I would take that.
Take your guys' word for it. Shit about Nico Collins, but I know that Devin Duvernay does jack shit. So
yeah. And
Who
then
else?
Matt Collins with the Raiders.
Oh yeah.
I
With the
I
injury,
like Matt Collins.
with
think
the
I'd go
injuries,
Duvernay.
with the injuries, yeah.
True.
With the injuries, yeah.
Yeah, so this is I'm not saying we're having a fantasy funeral for Devin Duvernay by any means because I think the talent is there, but
Nah.
He's young too.
he's safely droppable in redraft, even in PPR leagues. He's safely droppable.
Wait, you mean redraft and dynasty? He's droppable, or
No, I wouldn't drop him in Dynasty.
yeah, me neither.
No, I wouldn't drop him in Dynasty because he's young and he's electric, and the Ravens are just missing that one star receiver who can help take
Quarterback.
some. Dude, don't get me started on that. I don't even know what I would do with Lamar right now.
I traded Duvernay for a 3rd-round pick next year, which is working out. It was funny because right when the trade happened, Bateman got hurt. So I looked like an idiot, but I think I'm looking pretty good right now. 3rd-round pick in next year's deep wide receiver-based draft class. I think I'm going to find a hidden gem there.
Yeah, and even deep running back class next year, right? Isn't that what you're saying, Bob, earlier on one of the episodes?
It's deep regardless. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. It's going to be a
no,
really fun offseason.
I was talking about the free agent class, but yeah, apparently I haven't looked too much into it yet, but I know one guy who I watch a lot, Bijan Robinson in Texas, is like atop all the draft boards. He's apparently, running backs are just, you never know, but he seems to be like that clear cut. Kind of reminds me of when Leonard Fournette came out of college and everyone was like, this guy is the next great running back. And we all saw how that turned out. Fournette has been good, but he hasn't been as advertised when he was coming out of college, obviously. But
Yeah.
But this is gonna be a little hot takey. He's more of an honorable mention for get that corner out of my face because I know there's plenty of scenarios where this guy will still be in your starting lineup. He's been pretty much an RB2 all year. But getting into that like deeper part of the schedule where playoffs are becoming a thing now, it's going to be tough to start him. He has a tough schedule coming up. Dameon Pierce been very good all year for a rookie running back. Put up double digits in 7 consecutive weeks in the middle of the season. Past 2 weeks have been not great, 3.7 and then 4.6. He gets Cleveland, who has a weak run defense this upcoming week. But then after that, he plays Dallas, Tennessee. And those are 2 playoff weeks right there. So I wouldn't be feeling too good about starting Dameon Pierce if it comes playoff time and, if you have to. But the Texans also aren't going anywhere either. They're going to be down a lot. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot. And he hasn't had a lot of pass game involvement throughout this season. So he's definitely not droppable. But he's not a guy that I would be confident starting down the stretch anymore. I think he had his time this year.
Yeah.
He's going to be good going forward, but not a guy I'd be confident in. What do you guys think?
It's one of those players where it's like, that if you bench him, he's going to have a good game.
Yeah.
But there's those players that just have that title, like where you bench him and then you're just like hoping he sucks. And then when you start him, you're just praying to God he doesn't suck, and then it'll probably happen. So like he definitely is that type of player, and he's just not on the right team.
No.
He passes the eye test as a rookie running back,
Yeah.
but it's hard to say he's going to make a leap if he continues to be on the Texans.
Yeah.
Philip Lindsay was the same way. Oh wait, no, he was on the Broncos.
Yeah.
But Philip Lindsay was the same way. He was on a bad team. He was a good running back, and then he stayed on the Broncos. And bad teams are like constantly, because since they're constantly switching coaches, the playbooks and offensive schemes are constantly changing too, which I think makes it harder for younger players because all they're trying to do is find an offense that they can fit in with. And when you get all wishy-washy in terms of coaching and playmaking, or play calling rather, it becomes a risky start.
Yeah. A game script is also, like I said, he's only had 15 rushing attempts the past 2 weeks, and that's because the Texans have been down early and often the past 2 weeks. So he hasn't done anything. They're probably going to be down against Cleveland with Deshaun Watson coming back. Dallas, they'll be down. Kansas City, 100%. Tennessee, divisional matchup, but they have a good defense. They'll probably be down. And then if you make it to the championship game, He's playing the Jaguars. Are you really going to feel confident starting him? Probably not. If you have a better option, I would go with someone else. That he just doesn't have any favorable matchups or game scripts, it looks like, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I think I have Dameon Pierce in Dynasty, which I'm thrilled about because I love having him in Dynasty. I think he's proven that he's a good football player. But what was saving Dameon Pierce's, even his good weeks this year, is the Texans were always in negative game scripts, but they still fed him the ball. And now you're seeing them get down into negative game scripts and just completely move away from the run. And that's never good for, like Bob said, Dameon Pierce is not a PPR machine by any means. And so it's tough. It's tough. My dynasty team is slowly falling apart. Cooper Kupp, ETN, who knows what's going on with ETN?
He's fine.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
quote
They just
unquote.
held him out to be safe.
Yeah, quote unquote. He said he'll be straight for next week.
Love it.
I will also be straight next week, but I can't guarantee anything after that.
Dude, there's a lot of chat in the Yahoo chat. People are like, yeah, I'm going to be straight this week. Then I'm going to be gay next week. People are saying the same thing.
You just never know all how the tides go.
They're like, this dude's switching his sexuality every week.
Yeah.
Next week, it's going to be like, Travis Etienne, gay, out 2 weeks.
Oh, man. Do you guys have anyone else?
I can do a quick one. I think Alan Lazard, I want to get out of my face because if you're still starting him, I would say that you're in fantasy denial, kind of like how I am with Devin Duvernay on my one dynasty team, kind of forced to start him. But and plus it's dynasty, so I'm going to keep him. But yeah, I think you're still in fantasy denial. He started off the season strong, like the first month, maybe 6 weeks even. He started off the season pretty strong. But it seems like Aaron Rodgers has a new receiver that he likes to throw to, and that's rookie Christian Watson, due to setting records for rookie wide receivers in terms of consecutive games with touchdowns. That is a skewed stat. That does not mean that you're good in any way, but it is nice to see a rookie wide receiver pair well with Aaron Rodgers because it never happened before. But he's just not a sexy start anymore, especially as we get closer to the playoff push, because he's got Chicago next week, who does well against receivers. Aaron Rodgers may not be the quarterback next week, and then they have a bye. So it's like, why even have him on your team at this point? He's droppable. If you start him, you're in denial, and you probably suck at fantasy.
Yeah, I'm definitely in my other league. I am forced to start him because I drafted terribly with wide receivers. I thought Michael Pittman was going to be something this year, and I also drafted Brandon Ayuk's inconsistent, and I just thought Alan Lazard would be better. He had a good couple weeks, but definitely Christian Watson seems to be taking, especially if Jordan Love starts, it looked like Jordan Love was liking Christian Watson. So I'm on board with you with that, John. I wouldn't say he's droppable from my perspective, but definitely bench worthy and definitely worthy of get that corn out of my face.
And the last one I'll talk about, so we haven't really talked about a quarterback. Dak Prescott.
Is it that bad?
I mean, he got under 15 points again.
Oh, yeah, it's not good for a guy like Dak.
Yeah, and I usually love stacking quarterbacks, and CeeDee Lamb is for sure still must start. He's playing really well this year.
Oh, he had two picks, though, so that kind of worked against him.
Yeah, but Dak just has absolutely zero rushing upside, which is like a lot of your top 12 quarterbacks this year, I'd say probably at least half of them have some kind of rushing ability.
Yeah.
I know Mahomes slings the ball, but Mahomes can get out and scramble too if he wants. And so Dak Prescott, I'm starting Geno Smith next week. And I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah. He has some decent matchups, but I feel like Geno Smith has just been better, honestly.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys have this new identity where they're going to run the ball down your throat with Pollard and Zeke, and then their defense is just so good.
Yeah.
So
Micah Parsons is like fucking
deserves MVP votes. Like,
he's ridiculous.
Sure.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm glad a quarterback made it on because we really don't talk about quarterbacks. When we're doing these types of segments, we don't really talk about quarterbacks, or we definitely don't talk about tight ends. So it's good to mix them in a little bit.
Yeah. I just won some money on the Colts scoring a touchdown. So that's good.
Who scored?
Jonathan Taylor got in, but I had Colts for the opening drive to score a touchdown in the second half.
Did he get in?
2 yards.
Damn it. I need 30 more yards out of him, and then I win money.
Nice. All right, guys. So this was episode 20. Thank you for listening. This is the Eye Test, a fantasy football podcast. We are on YouTube, so if you're listening there, thank you for listening. And as always, we are on TikTok, the Eye Test Pod 1, where we post other types of entertaining content. If you don't feel like listening to our full DFS podcast, we post our teams on there, as well as waiver wire pickups. And thank you for listening. We will see you guys next week on Tuesday after week 13. Peace.
See ya.
See you next week.